All right, welcome. In this video, we're talking about the Plaid Model S unveiling event that Elon Musk just wrapped up right now. I'm filming this around 10 minutes after it ended. It started about an hour late, an hour 15 late, and it started off with Franz. Franz is the head designer. You can kind of think of him as the John Ive from Apple, but of the Tesla world, and he's designed all of the cars. And so the Model S Plaid is no different. So he comes on stage with the sledgehammer that maybe he used for the Cybertruck when he slammed the truck and then had a steel ball kind of crash a little bit the windows and make a pretty embarrassing event at the time. But now they're making fun of it. So awesome for Tesla for flipping that. But he jumps on, and there's a nice little video of how the Model S kind of came out in 2013 and became the best car Consumer Reports ever tested. Pretty amazing results, but Plaid is just another level. And so the Plaid car is not only the fastest, but it's new in so many different ways. You just saw a glimpse of the yoke steering wheel, the screen in the back. You can see the design is more efficient. It has a big horizontal screen in the front, and look at that Plaid design as the car just shoots through the track. We're going to talk about some of the design changes, some really cool stuff like gaming changes, and just a totally different approach to actually shifting. And this starts off with none other than Elon Musk in the actual Plaid Model S, and he does a little loop around the track at Fremont, and this thing is freaking fast. It's the fastest car ever mass produced. He is pumped up with his leather jacket and the plaid on the back. Elon cracks me up. He's just, in my opinion, he's just himself. And he's having a lot of fun up there. The first thing I notice is he looks healthy. He looks good. He doesn't look stressed. If you looked at the event with the Model 3, man, he was stressed out. So that tells me, Tesla's probably in a pretty good place, and he's really excited. This is kind of a passion project of his. So he is really happy to be up there and see the changes from the 2012 P85, which was the fastest Model S back then, and the range of 265 and the 4.2 0 to 60 time. And the Plaid is such a different level. It's crazy. The performance, and they kind of, Elon, he goes into some of the actual, engineering feats that the Tesla engineering has come up with, the carbon wrapped rotors and some really cool things that I honestly just don't understand, but it helps the car not break down at those speeds. Here's the actual motor that can pull this thing up and go up to 200 miles per hour, and it's pretty insane. And the drag coefficient is a big part of the efficiency. It has an aspect of the 0 to 62, of course, the drag from the air, with the lowest drag ever in a production car. Now, sometimes drag might have to do with the wheels not moving. So sometimes companies might say, hey, this is our drag coefficient, but he mentioned that the wheels moving is very important, and this is the lowest drag coefficient of any production car while the wheels are moving, which is what matters, right? He talks about the heat pump and improved thermals. This allows the car to stay efficient even during times of cold weather, so there's not battery degradation in terms of range. This is a common issue on a lot of cars. The Model Y started with a new heat pump, and now the Plaid has an advanced pump as well here. So the car, he mentions how there's 25,000 superchargers all over the world, which is such a benefit of having a Tesla. This isn't new to us. This isn't relevant to the Plaid, but he does want to bring it up here because I think that's one of the strongest appeals to a consumer looking to buy an EV, is that they can pretty much go anywhere and not have to worry about range because there is always going to be a supercharger somewhere. The Model S Plaid is said to have the best crash rating, or he thinks it will once it does get rated. And this car is the fastest car in the world, and Elon wants it to be the safest car in the world. Safety was always a very important aspect for Tesla. If you look at their top 5 cars, meaning literally all the cars here actually, you'll see that the top cars, the top 6 out of 6 cars with the lowest probability of injury in crash tests, well, they're Teslas. And that is something that a lot of people overlook. So that is something that Elon's always thought was important. And that has to do with the engineering. It has to do with the structural integrity. It has to do also just by a better by design with the EVs. Because for one, they don't roll as much. So the Model X, the SUV, is not going to roll as much because the battery's at the bottom. So there's super low balance of gravity there. And also, the engine is not at the front, so there's a crumple zone which alleviates some of the effects of a front-on collision, so it's better by design. Talking about design, this Model S is very different. It's a totally different looking interior than you're probably used to, and this is something that probably a lot of people have to get used to. Some people won't like it, some people might like it, but have to get used to it anyway. For one is the steering wheel, which isn't really a steering wheel. The whole keep your hands at 10 and 2 thing, that doesn't exist anymore. There's screens in the back, there's ventilated seats, which is nice to have, and this interior is basically all new from the Model S. There's even more room in the back because the front seats are able to be pushed up to the front a little bit closer based on how the car is built. That steering wheel though, that's the yoke steering wheel, which is kind of like a Formula One type design. So it is something that, love it or hate it, that is on the Model S's. Plaid. Now, people were wondering if that was going to be optional and there would be an actual wheel, and we still don't know absolutely for sure, but it seems like this is the wheel that there's going to be. And you can notice here, look at the visibility. It's optimized for autopilot because now you're just looking at the little screen in front, which has autopilot visualization, and that's what you're mostly going to be doing, right? When we think about the future and building something for the future, you got to be thinking like, if there's full self-driving, what kind of steering wheel do you want? You want something that you can easily see what's going on with FSD, and it's not getting in the way. Next is auto shift. This is pretty cool. You get in your car, and the car determines, hey, you probably want to go straight. Why? Because there's something behind you. Or, hey, you probably want to reverse. Why? Because there's probably something in front of you. It will be continuously learning, and I honestly think about this as something that is probably too early. I think this is something that the systems in Tesla are going to be learning consistently based on human behavior, based on every single time that a guess is wrong and you actually have to manually overwrite it. It's going to log that in the computers and try to get it right the next time for the whole neural net. And that is going to be a process that's probably going to continue to learn. If you use the summon feature on a Tesla to summon it out of a parking lot, it's still not perfect. It's still learning, but it's gotten way better from when it came out a while ago. So that is what I see this feature is going to be, but it makes sense, right? Everything that the Tesla has to be inputted in is kind of an error. That's what Elon said, which is a pretty crazy way to think about it. But it makes sense, right? If you have to unlock your car, that's an error. The Tesla should know when you're walking up to it with your Bluetooth connected device, right? So things like that are what Elon kind of thinks through, and the Tesla world is just so different than the traditional automakers, right? The traditional automaker still, in their electric vehicles, they still have an on-off button, which makes no sense. Like if you look at the VW or even the Mustang, the Mach-E, it has an on-off button, which makes no sense because it's always on. But that's maybe just for people to feel familiar. There's a lot of interior design tweaks with this. It's an all new interior. The wireless charging is different. The back seats are different. The screen in the back is in the center for entertainment. That's a big aspect of this new car, is being entertainment focused. And the reason why it's entertainment focused with a big old screen in the front, a 17-inch horizontal screen, is because of the future. If you're forward looking and you're thinking of full self-driving, what are you going to be doing if the car's driving itself? I mean, you're going to be wanting to be entertained. The car is going to start becoming a leisure, luxury, entertainment, phone on wheels kind of situation where maybe you're watching your favorite Netflix show, right? Maybe you're on YouTube, maybe you're working, you're doing stuff with those screens, and everything else is kind of out of the way. Elon shows the new design of the actual user interface. This right here is just the way the vents work with the Model Y and the Model 3, but there's a lot going on in this car that is different in terms of the user kind of experience. And Infotainment is the name of the game here. He actually shows a lot of different things you can do with the screen. A lot has to do with convenience and the machine kind of learning. And when we talk about entertainment, sound is a big aspect. There's Tesla acoustic glass to keep the sound in the car and not to hear the road noise as much. There's a new surround sound system. There's a ton new with the actual screen and how the gestures work and customization, so you can flick up and it knows where you're actually going to go based on your past results. So this screen looks like a total new update here with a software, of course. The Model S that everyone else has right now will have a different design, because remember, this is a horizontal screen. The current Model S and X are a vertical screen, but now he realizes, or maybe everyone does, that as we get closer to full self-driving, the horizontal screen is going to make more sense for entertainment purposes. Something that Elon is so passionate about, if you didn't know, is gaming. And so what Elon did here, this is an Elon move. I think there's a lot of people at Tesla, but Elon's probably the one that's like, we need to get a PS5, PlayStation 5 level chip in here for our entertainment purposes. So this chip actually powers all the screens and the entertainment on them. So we got the front screen that's right above the steering wheel, if you can even call it a wheel. We got the main horizontal 17-inch in the front, and we have the screen in the back. And this allows you to do what Elon loves doing, which is gaming. Here is a demo. This was live, which is always a risky thing to do, but a live demo of someone playing Cyberpunk, the video game, and it's just loading perfectly. It looks smooth. It looks great. With a PS5 level system, you should have obviously no problems. We get into some of the performance and how the 2021 Plaid outperforms the 2019 Performance Model S. You can see it hitting 1,000 horsepower even at 200 miles per hour, and keeping that power curve, which is absolutely insane. He says you have to feel it to know what it even is like. So delivery started right now. That was the point of this event. And it looks like tons of people are excited, are happy. There's so many things going on with this new Model S. It has the best drag coefficients, the fastest car. It has this auto shift feature, which probably will get rolled out with other software updates to potentially other cars. The new interior, the 17-inch front horizontal screen for movies, the acoustic glass, the PS5 level performance. I mean, this thing just keeps going on and on and on. So I'm pumped up about this for Tesla, because their goal is to make the best car ever. So what they did is they took the family-friendly sedan that is the safest car, and they made it the fastest car. They made it the best entertaining car. They made it the best full self-driving car. They worked hard on making it the most comfortable car. So this is something that is for the culture of Tesla and the world, realizing that EVs are here to stay. Not only can an EV car be competitive, it is actually the best car that you can make. Thanks so much for watching. Consider subscribing. I am excited for this new chapter of Tesla. I was hoping for a few little reveals, maybe something about full self-driving, maybe their new batteries, but we didn't get that here. But man, the Model S by itself, the Plaid, is something to be pretty excited about. It's a whole different level, and Tesla's playing a totally different game from the rest. Thanks so much for hanging out. Like this video and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks so much.